How did the abuse start? Tell us about it.
So, yeah, I have a little bit of I've tried, I've only ever looked into other survivors' accounts. I'd never heard of the two wonderful people that you interviewed that have been monumental to me. Their advice has been just, it's moving to me because I've been where they've been, okay? But I didn't know about this stuff until trying to figure out what happened to me. And it's different for me because my memories are clear as a bell. I never had to pull any of these memories out of like regression or anything like that. What happened is when I was young, about 4 or 5, a person was introduced to me in my life as a stepdad type figure. He basically engineered a way to be the disciplinarian of the household. And the way that it started is if I got in trouble at school, he would ask my mom and my half-sister, which is my mom's daughter from another guy, to just leave the house, and he would have his way with me. And the abuse started, it started with violence first and then sexual, and then it came to a point where it was happening every day, and this went on for years. And eventually, when I finally was able to speak out to people at my school or whatever, there was scars on my back from the hangers that I'd be whipped with, like it was wire hangers that was used, and it would be under the guise of discipline for school. Like I was supposed to be under punishment, and the punishment was just extremely severe. So there was sexual abuse that followed the discipline, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. I grew into the understanding of what was happening to me. I was then taken places by this person. And another thing that I thought would be valuable to your listeners is that this is not just Hollywood. I'm not here to blow the whistle on any politicians or any Hollywood types. There's going to be some musicians that we'll talk about that will be familiar to your listeners at some other time. But these are just, this happens at the ground level first. These are parents surrendering their kids to satanic cults to abuse them, and it's very real. And what happened to me is I was taken by this person who had sexually and violently abused me to be violently sexually abused by others at gatherings of which your listeners will be familiar with, including being shown other children being sexually and violently abused, including having to participate in I can only describe them as the hunts that they do, where they chase us and you have to run from them, during which all of my memories are very clear as to where I was brought and what was happening to me, but at which point I would be drugged. And then, so a lot of the violence and a lot of the sexual abuse and a lot of the participation is the parts of it that are a little hazier than the rest of it. But as far as going there and leaving, being taken there and leaving, it's all like it happened yesterday, including large portions of the violent and sexual abuse. But we would be drugged. I don't know if that's just the preference of the people that I was with, or if any other survivors can corroborate that type of thing happened to them. I haven't really looked into that, but that's what would happen to us. And I met several kids of which I would have to think are dead, and I met several kids that every single one of them I would never see again. And I would also be told by other kids that they had been killed or wouldn't be around anymore. So there's going to be maybe that's one of the things that maybe your people can help with, is trying to track down some of these people. When I finally got older and I went to people to tell them about it, it's my understanding that my account of my abuse was so credible that the person, my abuser, fled the country. That's my understanding of what happened with this perpetrator. I'm very interested in where he may or may not be. And this is abuse that went on for years, and the circumstances would be familiar to your listeners. I don't know how detailed you want me to get.
Well, no. Well, what I was going to ask is, you said what you want to give the name, right? I mean, we're wondering where this person might be, and it's not fantasy. You basically went to the authorities, and he was under investigation. Is that right? And then he fled. Is that right?
That's my understanding. My understanding is that he was facing. It was also brought to my attention that he was also abusing my half sister, of whom abused me in far less severe ways when I was younger. Only in my adulthood have I been able to understand why she might have been abusive to me. I now understand that she was being abused herself, and I've never gotten. I would love to see her come forward at some time, but it's not my right to do that for her. But our abuser, his name was Michael Kohler.